Hello, my name is Ken, and I want to welcome you back to Deep Waters. This podcast is brought to you by Applied Strengths Ministry, where we believe working together on our strengths is the effective working out the will and calling of God in our lives. The title of this message is, Was Jesus Above the Law? This is a series message, of which this is the last message, 3 of 3. Last week we ended up on a pretty intense paragraph, so as not to get lost in the final message. Now, clearly we have these same like-minded people alive and well in today's churches. I think they are called disciple police. Who told you? But Jesus had a way of stirring it up, didn't he? He knew their buttons and was intentionally pushing them. I would also go so far as to say that, in part, he did this to provoke them to eventually murder him. In their fleshly response to him, they in fact would eventually kill him. I guess you could ask, do you have to provoke a murderer to kill? Luke 13:11-16. And behold, there was a woman who had a spirit of infirmity 18 years, and was bent over and could in no way raise herself up. But when Jesus saw her, he called her to him and said to her, Woman, you are loosed from your infirmity. And he laid his hands on her, and immediately she was made straight and glorified God. But the ruler of the synagogue answered with indignation, because Jesus had healed on the Sabbath. And he said to the crowd, There are 6 days on which men ought to work. Therefore come and be healed on them, and not on the Sabbath day. I guess they would have also been correct to tell Jesus to pray for her the day before the Sabbath. This way, if he felt she should be healed, the anointing for it would have left his body on Saturday and not on the Sabbath. But I say this to be and to sound as ridiculous as they did. What happened to compassion and empathy for those who were sick in the day of no insurance, no medicine, or readily available doctors or hospitals? You see, a religious person always puts law ahead of human relationships, which is why Jesus had all of the work a God-man could handle set before him. Where is the shock and awe in the moment whereby 2 people sick for a combined 56 years were instantly healed? I bet if one of the Pharisees came up lame or sick, they would have appreciated the healing, even in church, on any given Sunday. This doesn't need me to bring to correction the history of these events. Jesus was all over it. The Lord then answered him and said, Hypocrite, does not each one of you, on the Sabbath, loose his ox or donkey from the stall, and lead it away to water it? So ought not this woman, being a daughter of Abraham, whom Satan has bound, think of it, for 18 years, be loosed from this bond on the Sabbath? So again we see Jesus breaking the law, or so we think, putting human needs above the law. So now these are just a few examples of Jesus breaking the understanding of what the law was designed for in that day. I wonder if he understood the reaction he would receive, breaking with the traditions of men, to establish a kingdom that will place humans above the written law. History tells us that we don't like other people or God messing around with our laws and rules, regardless of their origin and impact on the human race. Matthew 5:17. Do not think that I came to destroy the law or the prophets. I did not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Well, that's it for today. Hopefully we learned something and received some revelation, as we ought to, in our seeking to know God more. Remember, it's not what you find wrong or disagree with regarding these messages, but what you can take away from it. Together we can do more to impact the kingdom than if we worked alone. Let's flip the script and kill, steal, and destroy the works of the enemy, and create space for the light of lights to shine through into people's lives. Plant a seed and click on the like and subscribe button. Let's build this ministry together. Thanks, and see you next time in Deep Waters.